What's up, ladies and gents? This is KSigKid coming at you with another Destiny video. Today we've got a massive video of loot for you, and I'm talking massive. So what we're going to show is we've got our Iron Banner gear that we got, we've got Crucible Shaxx bounties that we're going to turn in, and we've got Crucible Quartermaster bounties that we're going to turn in. There is so much stuff. And normally, maybe I might split these out into individual videos, but so much has been going on with the Age of Triumph that I feel like I just don't have time to put these into separate videos. So we're just going to have one absolutely monster Crucible opening loot video, whatever you want to call it. But we've also got some of our Iron Banner highlights, which we did not show because we didn't do an Iron Banner gear video at the end of it, because we wanted to get prepared and started for Wrath of the Machine. It's really fun and really funny. Whenever I was looking at my Destiny tracker stats, again, I had not raided for about 5 months prior to the Age of Triumph coming out. 5 months. It was all Crucible. And anybody who's come to this channel knows I am not a great Crucible player. Not at all. So it's really nice to get back into raiding. But of course, I have had a lot of fun in the Crucible whenever I'm not getting absolutely murdered and destroyed by various people who are far better than me, or supers, or whatever the case may be. This Iron Banner, as far as it goes, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. It was control, so that means that obviously everybody was playing Clash. That is typical. People don't typically play the objective in the Iron Banner. KD, 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 right? I used a lot of different stuff. Obviously, most of what I was using was dependent upon the Crucible Quartermaster bounties, which meant that I was using a lot of hand cannons and pulse rifles, because that's pretty much what I needed on all of my characters. Unfortunately, they didn't have an auto rifle bounty going on. They do this week though, so I have to get into the Crucible this week and get those 150 auto rifle kills on all 3 of my characters, because I need that counterbalance doctrine finally in my life. I do. I really do need it. I've got a Rodeo one, I've got an Adept Rodeo one, but I do not have a counterbalance one. I don't give a crap if it's Adept or common. It will be common, obviously, if you get it from the Crucible Quartermaster bounty. But I don't care. I don't care about that yellow. I just want the functionality. I want to see what counterbalance, persistence, and brace frame feels like together. None of my super fast rate of fire auto rifles have that. This one would be great to get, though of course I'm going to be at the mercy of RNG in 3 chances. 3 chances. We'll end up seeing what ends up happening. I will also say, getting 2 breakers, and I might have got another one at some point during the Iron Banner. That was pretty shocking. That was pretty nice. People were, I guess, grouped up on the objective. Maybe that's why people don't typically play the objective. As far as our gear goes, turning in our first one, we get a Lingering Song. We get ourselves a helmet on our Warlock. We end up getting a Clever Dragon, everybody's favorite, and then another helmet. And of course, my character did not get up to rank 5 just at that moment. My Warlock was my first character, so that means that it took the longest. The rest of the characters hit rank 5 without even trying, thanks to all the buffs and the Nightfall buff last week. As far as our Lingering Song goes, so we've got a little bit of range, we've got Snapshot Feather, okay, it has to be Snapshot in the middle, but nothing that I'm absolutely dying for in the end. So we're going to pass on this one. We definitely have a better Lingering Song than that. And let's take a look at our Clever Dragon. So send it. Oh, brace frame. There we go. If we want to absolutely destroy our magazine size brace frame, in the middle column we've got high caliber rounds. So brace frame and high caliber rounds, the beginning of the makings of what was a god tier Clever Dragon. And not so much anymore, sadly. Unfortunately, not so much anymore. Our helmets, they're looking okay, but not as great a stat roll as the one that I already have on. So unfortunately, we're going to dismantle these ones as well and move on to our Titan. So our Titan, character number 2 for his first Iron Banner bounty. We turn this in and get ourselves a Distance Star. Okay, pretty awesome. We get ourselves some boots, a Silver Dread, and for our final one, looks like we got another helmet. Helmets raining down in our Iron Banner bounties. Let's take a look at this Distance Star. So, oh geez, it's got full auto. I can see full auto already. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. In the middle, brace frame. Ah, that would be so good, except for the fact that it hurts your magazine size. I hate that. It has a low magazine already. Explosive rounds and full auto in the middle, and then Firefly on the end. Holy crap, this was amazing. But that first column kills it for me. Though long ago, we got ourselves a hand-laid stock full auto Distance Star long ago, so we aren't going to need this, but that one that one was really close to being really, really amazing. For our Silver Dread, it's not looking that bad, not that bad. So we have hand-laid stock here, nice for extra stability, always a good thing. And then in the middle, armor-piercing rounds or Field Scout, and then counterbalance or Grenadier. So not bad, not a bad Silver Dread at all. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one. It's kind of a premium on vault space, as everybody can imagine. And then, of course, we ended up getting ourselves some artifacts, some boots. Boots Intellect Discipline, though we're going to pass on these things, even though they do have shotgun ammo and machine gun ammo, which is always good. We're going to just pass on these and move on to check out this helmet. And as far as the helmet goes, not bad. Yet again, not a terrible stat roll, but my one is already better. So we're going to have to delete this one as well. It's really tough trying to crack the lineup. You know, we've already got some really great stat rolls that we bought from Effort Eat, so it's tough cracking that lineup. Finally, we're going to move on to our Hunter for the Iron Banner gear. We get a Laughing Heart, and we're laughing about that already. Getting some boots, getting ourselves a Titanium Orchid, and finally, a helmet. What else would you expect? So we got ourselves 3 out of 3 helmets for our Laughing Heart. I am not a fan of this impact style of sniper rifle. I've mentioned that plenty of times. Some people like them. I personally don't. But I don't think anybody is going to enjoy the perk rolls that I got on this. So we're definitely going to pass this one by and move on to the Titanium Orchid. Let's see if this one is pretty solid. So we always want ones that have grenades and horseshoes, and this one does indeed have grenades and horseshoes, so that's awesome right there. Just taking a look at the other Titanium Orchid that I'm holding on this character. And just looking at the perks, we could get that velocity up. That's really nice. This thing has better velocity than blast radius. Javelin, that's pretty awesome. The middle column, nothing crazy, but of course, grenades and horseshoes. Or if you maybe wanted to take this into PvE, you could put on tripod. I always like grenades and horseshoes. Just why end up missing a rocket accidentally? Grenades and horseshoes helps you out a lot. And then of course, closing out, we got some boots. So we got our boots here. We already have some boots, 47, 47. I think we're going to pass on these and delete these as well. And then we got a helmet. We got a helmet. We got a helmet on every character. The Iron Banner helmets are pretty cool though. You can see I've got one here. That's a great stat roll. This one's a great roll too. It's just not as good. So that's going to be our Iron Banner bounties, but we've got more. A Shaxx bounty. Starting off here, we got an Unending Deluge. So here's the thing. I really like this gun, but Corrective Measure's out now. Corrective Measure is out now, so why am I going to use this thing? Though I do know some people really enjoy Take an E, and Take an E plus Persistence, that could be a lot of fun in the Crucible, I imagine. I'm not a real big fan of Take an E because I don't like crouch walking anywhere. I like to run and jump around, so I'm going to pass on that one and move on to our next Shaxx bounty. Turning this in, we get an Unending Deluge. So there we go. And like I said, we've got Corrective Measure, and this one is the Void flavor, so really, yeah. Unfortunately, this one is more about the stats as opposed to anything else that it does crazy. In the middle column, I would have picked Perfect Balance because I don't want to lower that magazine size. Magazine size is what makes that special. Finally, we've got another Shaxx bounty, and we get ourselves a Hexcaster Arc, which is a super fast rate of fire auto rifle. The problem is, this one has a ton of range, but it has barely any stability, and you really can't get that stability up to where you want it for this style of auto rifle. So unfortunately, this sucker is going to be a pass, and what we're going to do is, we ended up picking up one of those Continentals last week, which was an amazing, amazing roll, and we're just going to use this as infusion fuel. So bye-bye Hexcaster, and hello far, far godlier Continental with a Rodeo, with Perfect Balance, with Counterbalance. That sucker is amazing. And I said finally before, but we actually do have some more Shaxx bounties. We turned in a Rift, we turned in a Clash, and I think we do have one more. We've got a Control one. Turning this one in, we get ourselves a Don't Touch Me. There we go. Finally an exotic. It seems like the Shaxx bounties do typically give exotics. I guess I just was a little bit unlucky this week. Don't Touch Me bros are maybe making a little bit of a comeback with the Crota's raid coming back. Everybody loved those suckers for the Thrall Pit right at the beginning of the raid. Don't Touch Me, get hit by melee, which all Thralls do, and you go invisible. Very, very nice. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of that. You hunters, are you rocking that out in Crota's End at all? For the beginning at least? You used to. you definitely used to. So another one of our drops was a Cryptic Dragon. Let's take a look at this sucker. Taking a look at its perks, we've got Zen Moment. Down the middle, hand-laid stock, not bad, get that stability up, or all the range you could possibly want with Rifle Barrel and Third Eye. Not a bad one. Not a bad one. I imagine some people would rock this out in PvP. It's not some crazy sick god tier looking thing, but not bad at all. And of course we ended up getting something that went to our Postmaster, and it looks like it is the Mida Multi-Tool. There we go, another exotic. So 2 exotics there. Everybody knows the Mida. Everybody knows the Mida. Now it's time for some of those Quartermaster bounties. So starting off, we get an Ill Will. For our Pulse Rifle, we get nothing. We'll have to go take a look at that. Shotguns, we got an Unraveling Thread. There we go. That is my first new Trials gear, period. That's awesome. And then a Bread of March stand. We still have more. Turning in our sidearm, we get a HAVOC pigeon, and for our fusion rifles, we end up getting nothing. So again, we've got to go to our Postmaster. Let's see what we've got in here though. For starters, our Ill Will. If you want hand cannons with all that impact, Ill Will is up your alley. And we've got max range with this thing, or explosive rounds. We've got Outlaw, which is great because look at that reload speed, and then Mulligan here, which is just so-so. Overall, that is not a bad Ill Will if you like that style of hand cannon. Moving on to our HAVOC pigeon. Unfortunately, this one does not exactly hold up as well. Nothing that I'm really excited about. We're going to pass on this HAVOC pigeon, and we need to go check out that shotgun. So this is my first new Trials of Osiris weapon. There it is, looking good. It really looks good, and I'm excited. Though, of course, as you look at its stats, it does not look like it's made for PvP, which is just really funny. But it does look like it's a pretty solid PvE style shotgun. It's got full auto. We could increase its reload speed, which is nice, and then we could also kind of give it a little bit of extra range or snapshot, full auto or rangefinder. Again, this thing doesn't look like it's made for PvP, which is really weird since it comes from the Trials, but I'm really excited to have one. And finally, we got a Bread of March stand. I've got several Bread of March stands, and wow, they are all better than this. They are far better than this. We're going to pass on this one. Bread of March stand, not a bad machine gun, especially in PvP. Of course, we did get a couple things go right to our Postmaster, so let's go check these things out. Uh-oh, looks like we got another Trials weapon. This one from year 2, Reflection Sum, and we got it with Hidden Hand. There we go, some more Trials gear. Now I do already have some Reflection Sums. I actually went flawless back in year 2, so I actually have those as Adept versions. Pretty cool that we got a year 2 one. Hopefully that bodes well for getting maybe a Doctrine. Man, I want a Doctrine this week. And for a fusion rifle, we got Pantaray. Icarus is nice. We can increase the stability, which is nice, but I'm going to pass on this. I do have fusion rifles I like far better, like the Saladin's Vigil. Moving on to some more Crucible bounties, and there we go, Exile Student. Really excited. I'm probably the first person that has ever been excited to get the Exile Student. We got a shotgun, a curtain call, and a Steel Oracle. Alright, let's take a look at these suckers and see what we got. We're going to start off on the bottom with the Steel Oracle. No cluster bombs there. Okay, everybody calm down. No cluster bombs. This thing has blast radius 4 days, but I am going to pass on this one. I'm going to pass on this one, even though it's got a ton of blast radius. I'm not as big a fan with tracking as opposed to grenades and horseshoes, and I've already got a lot of rocket launchers that I really like. Moving on to our curtain call, this shotgun, let's see. So it looks like we can increase the range just a little bit. That is nice. And then we've got Cascade or Battle Runner, Rifle Barrel to really boost up that range. Not bad. Not bad at all, but I've got all the shotguns I could possibly want. This one isn't a bad one. Not a bad roll though. And finally, Exile Student, locking this hand cannon up there. So Exile Student, I'm probably the first person to be ever excited about this thing. Rate of fire is fast. Impact is not the 81 style. That's why people aren't using it, because it also has low range. But you could increase the range a little bit. You still have explosive rounds, which is great. That helps out with the range a lot. Hidden Hand or Firefly. I mean, this gun just looks fun to use. What about the barrels over there? What about the barrels? Do they increase anything? Yes, they even increase the range a little bit and some impact. So I'm a fan of this. It looks like fun. I don't know if it's ever going to be actual good in Crucible, but it might be fun to use. And we've got some more Crucible Quartermaster bounties. Our heavy weapon is Something Wicked. We'll have to take a look at what our primary was. So Something Wicked, again, blast radius for days. But this one, yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to hold up. Though actually, as I take a further look, we do have Javelin in the middle. So that's nice, increasing that velocity while still having a ton of blast radius and tracking. So in PvE, not bad at all. Actually, not that bad. For PvE, not a bad rocket launcher. But we also need to take a look at what went to our Postmaster. Again, we've got far too much stuff. So poor Postmaster is busy. That's why we're opening up these videos right next to the Postmaster. It looks like we ended up getting ourselves another Iron Banner weapon. It is the Clever Dragon. So yet again, another Clever Dragon. But this one, is this one going to hold up to the one that we actually got from the Iron Banner? It is not. It is definitely not. Yes, it does have high caliber rounds, but that's about all it has going for it. Pass and move on to more Crucible Quartermaster bounties. We got ourselves a Proud Spire and a Spare Change. A Spare Change and a Proud Spire. So I was really hoping to potentially grab that Blind Perdition. That would have been awesome. That's why I was trying to do the Pulse Rifle ones, but unfortunately it did not come there. So as far as this Proud Spire goes, it is full auto, and full auto is always great in PvE, and this gives some stability, it gives some magazine size, really not too shabby. But I do have a really nice Proud Spire already, and honestly, even though this sucker is made for PvE, I kind of like my full auto shotguns to have more impact. Now on our Spare Change, counterbalance, there we go. What about stability? Give me oh man, I wish we could have got a little bit more stability. I'm not even 100% sure if the Spare Change can get more stability than that. I feel like it used to, at least in year one though. I feel like it used to be able to get more stability, so I'm thinking maybe that's still the case. I don't know. Somebody let me know. And finally, for our last and final Crucible Quartermaster bounty, we got another Unraveling thread, except for this flavor is Arc, and it still looks really cool. So holy crap, that was a lot of Crucible loot. That was a lot of Crucible loot. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your Crucible loot, and I'll see you around in Destiny. #TrialsGear. Give me doctrine.